Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. So, last night I made a video about Andrew Wiggins. Congratulations once again for being a starter in the All-Star team. Everybody who you see online who's talking about it is essentially saying that it was because he's a small forward, and quite frankly, most of the small forwards who are usually named in the Western Conference, Kawhi, PG, those guys didn't play at all this season pretty much, so they weren't going to be voted in. And some of these other guys that you know should be there, they don't play the small forward position. So you can't really get mad at the fans for not having a choice in voting. They voted for the best player available in that position, and they just so happened to believe it was Andrew Wiggins. Of course, Andrew Wiggins' numbers and his role on that team comparable to other players from other positions. We can very easily say there are other people who are more deserving of that starting position, but not running his position. So I think the NBA needs to do something. Do away with fan voting entirely is what I would choose. But they want the fan interaction. They see the fruit in having fans interact. It keeps fans feeling like they have a part in and say so in things that really matter. So that's not going to benefit the league either. What they need to do is fix the ballot. This is a positionless league. You got guys playing out of position on every team. If you look at the Los Angeles Lakers and you're judging who's playing what, Carmelo Anthony should be on the center's ballot. Do you understand what I'm saying? So should LeBron James. He should be eligible to play center, and so on and so forth. It's a positionless league where some coaches like to play small ball. Some guys like to play out of position. Some guys are benefiting from the fact that they're playing out of position. A guy like Andrew Wiggins can always be a 3, but he can also be a 2. And in some lineups, he could be a 4. So at the end of the day, we don't need at all the ballot to be as it is. This is on the league. It's not on the fans. The fans could only vote what they could. You're not going to be able to put Donovan Mitchell in the small forward position. They do not allow that to be the case when you vote. Literally cannot be an option. Luka Doncic, same thing. They got him as a guard, even though we know damn well Luka Doncic is not positional. He doesn't have a position. He could play the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in some small ball lineups. So the NBA needs to adjust that next year. And make it right, because a guy like Andrew Wiggins should not be starting over a guy like Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and names such as that. It should not happen. It's wrong, and I think everybody, even if you're supporting Andrew Wiggins, understands that. Sometimes you can love a guy's production and appreciate what he's doing, but you can look at some of his other competition in other positions and see that they were more deserving of this opportunity. So were the fans deserving of an opportunity to vote who they wanted in at whatever position, especially since this is a positionless game at this stage in its development. So you can be happy for Andrew Wiggins. A lot of people are getting mad at people who are not happy that Andrew Wiggins is there. And I just think there's balance to be found. You can do both. You can appreciate that Andrew Wiggins has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start an All-Star game. Congratulations to himself and his family, his country, and everybody who voted behind him. But at the end of the day, we also know that there's an opportunity for you to vote Kawhi Leonard in, even though he's hurt. There's an opportunity to vote PG in, even though he's hurt. There was an opportunity to vote Vince Carter in back in the day when he was hurt. I mean, some of this stuff just should not be possible. You know what I'm saying? It should not be possible. The reality is, I don't think fans get it right because the masses don't usually get things right. They go with what they know. It doesn't necessarily mean they're paying close enough attention to actually be able to make that determination, even if the ballot was more so equipped for them to make better decisions as a whole. It did not allow for that, even if they were knowledgeable, even if they were the highest IQ fans in the world, all of them voting at the same time. At the end of the day, they would have to vote Andrew Wiggins in over some guys who are more deserving because of that ballot. So that is the reality of the situation. As a fan, I do not like it. I like it for Andrew Wiggins because it allowed him an opportunity that he otherwise would never, ever get. Let's just be real. No way, no how should he be starting an All-Star Game 2022. It don't mean that he shouldn't be a reserve. I'm not saying he shouldn't be an All-Star. But there were guys like Donovan Mitchell, as I said, who's the number one name that comes to mind for me, who definitely does not deserve to be snubbed as a starter in a year where he played this well. Luka Doncic, nah. Devin Booker, come on, man. Come on, man. Just because they're not listed at certain positions, that's on you, NBA. It's not on the fans. It's not on Wiggins fans who voted him in. It's not on anybody but the NBA to fix the ballot. DeMar DeRozan was the one who was screwed the most, even though he did ultimately start. He's listed as a position he's not even playing for his team. So those type of things, it's like, thank God he was able to make it because he was so deserving. But that almost screwed him out of an opportunity to start. I mean, it's not about who deserves it to a degree. It's about who deserves it the most. And that's what we're after here. When you're looking for accolades and things like that, especially since there's so much on the line outside of basketball. A lot of these guys, they get all-star appearances, they get bonuses. They get all-star appearances, they get extra publicity, stuff that they put on their resume that sticks with them for the rest of their lives. This should have been given to who most deserved it, not who the fans most decided they want. I'm sorry, that is not how that should go, in my humble opinion, especially when there's other aspects of it that need to be considered in terms of you dig a little deeper, you start thinking about management companies and the incentives they have when they have a player they represent who starts an all-star game, things like that, the different bonuses and things that come into play. It's too much business behind it for it to be left up to the flaw of the ballot maker. That is absolutely and utterly wrong. So, again, I could be happy for Wiggy. I call him Wiggins. You could be happy for the guy, you know what I'm saying? I think that he's come a long way. The fact that he's had such a bust representation on his name because of the slow start that he got to his career and the circumstances surrounding it, and how hard he's worked and getting to Golden State and still having that needing to be shaken off, that bust name, shaking it off, turning himself into a real player, sliding into the role and keeping that team afloat while Klay Thompson was out for a couple years. Hey, I'm not going to sit up here and say this man didn't deserve to be given a break or have an opportunity come his way that ain't necessarily deserving. Because quite frankly, as hard as he's worked and as hard as he's had to fight his way through that, heck yeah, underneath the surface, he's definitely deserving of something like this for him. He is. When you consider all of that, you consider the fact that a guy like myself will get up here and say he never deserves it. It's because of that you would love to see something like this happen to somebody like that. I get all of that. I have a heart for that. But I also don't have a heart for seeing people like Donovan Mitchell, et cetera, Devin Booker, not get their opportunity in the face of that. It's about the circumstance itself. It's the ballot itself that is wrong, not the fans, certainly not Andrew Wiggins. It's the ballot. Fix the ballot. It's a positionless game. You guys are doing all kinds of stuff with the All-Star game. You're breaking the skills challenge up, not skills challenge, but the rookie game up into 4 different games, all different types of stuff that you're doing to try to innovate the game, stretch it out, make it more exciting and more money for you. But you can't get the ballot right so that a guy like Andrew Wiggins gets a chance to start. And we know damn well there's like 4 or 5 other guys that are more deserving in different positions, but not too far away. It's not like the difference between the positions is like center and point guard either. You're talking about a guy who could probably slip into the 3 and do the same stuff. Wiggins could slip to the 2 and do the same stuff. So it's positionless, man. This should not be the case. So that's what I'm calling for. I would love to see the NBA just end fan voting entirely and find a more pinpoint way to determine who deserves what, instead of just allowing Joe Public and whoever's favorite clique to come together and just say, let's vote 1,000,000 times for our favorite guy. And you have stuff like Caruso almost starting and junk like that. You knew this was going to happen eventually. Fan voting is just a very, very flawed system that, in my opinion, is run by greed. It's greed that makes them want to have the fans feel interactive so that we'll stay wanting to be a part of it. We don't need to be a part of nothing. We're not running around. We're not shooting the ball. We're not giving statistics. We're not making a dollar. We don't need to be a part of none of that. The only thing the fans need to be a part of is watching, buying paraphernalia, buying clothing, going to the games. That is our responsibility. The NBA wants us to feel more involved, and because of it, guys get screwed in the All-Star game. So, hey, fix that, man. Fix that, NBA. Adam Silver, fix this. May this be the last time we're sitting up here talking about a guy who's less deserving starting an All-Star game. In that, BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching.